Hi guys, Tristan Ogilvie here, sitting alongside Lucy O'Brien.
Hello, Tristan.
Who, if you've been paying attention to the site IGN.com, has just spent several weeks, well, not the whole duration of those weeks, but once a week for the past month or so, reviewing the episodes of Resident Evil Revelations 2.
That is correct. That is correct.
The fourth episode is done and dusted, and that's the final one, unless you count the bonus episodes.
They just keep coming. They just keep coming.
But anyways...
That is one thing that you can say for Resident Evil Revelations 2, is that there's a lot of content.
Right.
There's a lot in there.
Quantity, not quality, perhaps, is their design philosophy. So now that it's all out there and you can go on IGN and see all the reviews for each of the episodes, we thought we'd give you an overall season review. Would you call it a season review? It's
a season review, yeah.
So, Lucy, overall, let's just jump straight to the point. Overall, do you think this has been a good Resident Evil game collectively?
Listen, I mean, I think it is good in Revelations where your partner was just essentially useless. You know, your partner was basically there just to feed into the story, essentially. Right. Like it didn't actually change the gameplay.
Was it more of a hindrance?
Well,
or
just
not?
just sort of not like. Totally
ineffectual.
Irrelevant.
Okay, yeah,
totally
okay.
ineffectual.
Got it.
Whereas in Revelations 2, your secondary character is actually quite useful, and a lot of the gameplay is sort of baked around the idea that you utilize their skills as well as your own skills.
Because they sort of complement yours, right?
Yeah, well, so they complement and
okay, no, that's not true. I didn't review the game. I don't know why I said that.
Well, they do insofar as the game has been like. The gameplay has been built around
right.
their skills, even if
that's what I meant.
Even if their skills aren't necessarily skills. I mean, well, let's sort of take Claire and Moira for example.
Yep.
So Moira, Claire is your usual. She's a run and gunner. Claire is a run and gunner. Moira she basically has this torch and she doesn't want to use guns. So her ability is to shine a torch is to blind enemies and also like find hidden objects and whatnot.
Right.
On Barry and Natalia's side, Barry's your sort of tank, whereas Natalia she's got a mysterious ability where she can see enemies through walls, and also
is that mysterious ability ever explained?
You know what? It might have been in the ending. I mean, sort of Revelations 2 ends in such a way that you could sort of explain anything or not explain anything.
Gotcha.
It's very ambiguous.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, so that is like when the gameplay does really complement those two sets of skills, I think Resident Evil Revelations 2 really sings. You know, when for example, when there's this great section, I think it was in the second episode. I'm just trying to remember, where basically Moira and Claire are trying to escape this building that's coming down around them in flames, and they have to because you can switch between each character.
Of course. Or play co-op, right?
Or play co-op, exactly. And co-op's a lot of fun.
Yep.
Playing with someone else is a lot of fun. There's a lot of shrieking involved. You've got to, like, one character has to sort of turn a valve, classic Resident Evil, valve, in order to let the other character through. But when you're, the stakes, that there's like an enemy approaching, the vulnerable character. It's that kind of teamwork works really well.
Yeah.
And those are the parts of Revelations 2 that I really, really liked. Like those sort of like the parts that really complemented the two sets of skills. And I really wish that there had been more of them, because I think if there's one thing you can say across the board with Resident Evil Revelations 2, my word would be inconsistency.
Right.
So these moments of real sort of gameplay brilliance, and also the sense that the stakes are really high and that sort of thing. They do come by rather occasionally. Well, I would have liked to have seen more of them, because there was just too much time spent just wandering around corridors and shooting concrete corridors and shooting zombies in the head. And I get it. That's a Resident Evil sort of staple. But it's grown really stale.
Yeah.
It's grown really bracelets around their wrists that sort of contain them. And yeah, I mean, I really dug the story right up until the fourth episode, where it just kind of it didn't quite unravel entirely. It just it sort of it relied too much on over exposition in order to quickly explain what was going on, to try and explain the complexities of the plot. So, there's tons of like really, really awkward and clunky reading material littered around the
a lot of diary entries,
a lot of diary entries just scattered around.
Get a padlock for your diary
to explain, what the evil mastermind was up to. So, just those kinds of really awkward shortcuts that I thought really underserved the story. And it was just it's sort of, I got the sense that like Capcom was losing confidence in itself and confidence in it. It was losing confidence in its own story. Whereas in the first 3 episodes, I really felt like it was telling. It knew, I felt that the game knew what it was doing, that the story was going in a very, it was building up to something really special, and then it kind of just stumbled at the finishing line, which is a real shame. But on the whole, I did find the story quite compelling, and I will also just want to give a call out to there's a sort of sense of humour that's weaved throughout it as well that I really appreciated. Again, it was by the 4th episode, it had all but disappeared, which is a real shame because
I ran out of gags. It's the story of my life.
But I really enjoyed it. The sort of the one-liners and the but also it's self-deprecation, a little bit of subversion, in there. I really enjoyed that, and it was a shame that we kind of lost that by the 4th episode.
Right. What about outside of the story? Obviously, I believe one of your favourite aspects, and certainly the one that has the most replay value, is the raid mode.
Yeah. I mean,
is that it's got a shining light in the package?
The raid mode is great, like it was in the first Revelations. And I think it was also it was also really great in contrast to the main game, particularly when it came to environments, because the environments in the primary campaign and the enemies in the primary campaign are really dull.
Yep.
Just really...
And reused a lot, right?
Just reused. Yep. The same sorts of... you'll if you face a boss, then you'll probably face him again in the next episode.
Right. He's a different colour at least, right?
Not even a different colour. They didn't even go that far. I mean, it was totally justified in the initial... you can unlock is definitely something to work towards.
Okay.
So
Tofu from Resident Evil 2?
That's